Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago as usual. And I had to squeeze this one in. It's too hot. It's too hot not to do. It is spicy. Spicy stuff. This is Saint's fault. Thank you, Saint, for sending this to me in Discord. I was just trying to go off to a pointless Cubs game that means nothing. But now I'm going to pregame with you guys and watch this video. Let's get her started.
I believe this is Miss Woodson.
Me too.
She's not here.
But she's not here, I don't think. And I think, have you had any contact with her, Mr. Feaster?
I have not, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hamilton, have you heard from Ms. Woodson?
No, sir. That I've been trying to get a hold of her. They said I would have the court appointed. I talked to someone earlier.
You talked to me?
Yeah, about the agreement. And I thought it was I thought she was for my restitution hearing.
Okay, so this is a new judge. It's Washtenaw County again. We really have James Johnson coming along. That's the main event. But I thought I'd leave this in there to warm it up. I can't believe this guy actually got something done without his attorney. He really did. And his attorney apparently doesn't communicate with him, or at least that's what he says. I don't know if that's true.
But she never answered. I had her one time with the case that I beat that got dropped, and she never answered.
All right, well, let's do this. I think I can get her attention, Mr. Hamilton. I'm sorry you had to wait around all afternoon, but I think I can probably get her attention. What I think we have to do is adjourn today's date, and the court will notify Ms. Woodson that she has to appear.
Sir, I want this tether off.
You know, I'm not super comfortable going ahead without your lawyer here. We can adjourn it just a week, and we'll make sure we get hold of her.
I know what it is. I've talked to my probation officer. He's told me what's going on with the paperwork.
Hey, Judge, if I may, it is Mr. Heath supervises Mr. Hamilton, and he was very eager as well to be able to get the tether off. Obviously, we're not taking a plea or anything like that, but as a condition of whatever bond he had, it would be our recommendation that we remove the tether, if the court is able to do that.
I don't have an objection if you don't have an objection. Ms. Blanche, do you have any position on this, if probation doesn't mind?
I wouldn't have an objection if probation doesn't mind.
Okay, so I know Jessica Blanche is big fan favorite, but because of her crystal galeness over there, you are going to love the rest of this video. And I also kind of left this in for this reason. She doesn't object to what this guy's doing. This guy gets a huge break right here. It's very interesting. And why I should call it the judge too. It's Judge Conlon. I haven't seen him before. I think he does a nice job in this hearing.
Yeah, he's been on for 195 days of tether.
So let's go 2 weeks out then.
21st.
So we'll adjourn the hearing to September 21st. So that's 2 weeks, Mr. Hamilton. But I will order the removal of your tether so you can report. Is it a probation tether, Agent Pollard?
Yeah, Mr.
So you can report to your agent and have the tether removed tomorrow morning, and then we'll be done with it, okay?
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hamilton.
So we'll be back here, though, in 2 weeks for the VOP hearing, okay?
So he actually gets his tether removed without his attorney there. And he gets it almost entirely because of Rodney Pollard, who is the probation guy. And they are in contact with him or whatever. If this guy's cooperating, they don't think he needs the tether anymore and all that, then that's fine. But, I mean, he actually, interjected to the judge very respectfully and said, you know what, we're fine with him getting rid of the tether. And then APA Branch here, or is it Blanche, she doesn't object either. So he actually manages to get rid of his tether without an attorney there. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
You can contact Mr. Heath right now and let him know.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Oh, there he is, bottom right.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it. Number 25 and 26, People versus James Johnson, 25-1 FH, 2203 FH.
If you watch his channel, you'll know that I'm not even overstating. I think James Johnson goes to court every day. I really do. Multiple judges all the time. I mean, there was a time when he literally had something up every day in Judge Simpson's room.
Jessica Blanche, appearing on behalf of People.
I'm doing it on behalf of James John. Sorry about that.
And Sam Bernstein as well, Your Honor, for the probation violation matter.
Okay. So looks like we have both a pretrial and a probation violation hearing. I assume they're going to continue to track together, but I don't want to make any gross assumptions. So what are we doing today, counsel?
And the pretrial will be asking for an adjournment. I have been talking with Ms. Blanche, and I did not get a chance to meet with Ms. Johnson. We've been talking for the last day, so I'll be asking for an adjournment to further talk to Mr. Johnson about what we have discussed.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Bernstein?
Your Honor, I would like my case to track along, though I would like to say a few words about bond. The court has a moment.
Sure. Give me 1 second here.
Your Honor, can I ask a quick question too? Did you get my letter?
Did I get your letter? I don't know that I did.
I wrote you a couple weeks ago.
I mean, I get letters all the time, and I don't know, I don't remember it. So you might need to resend a copy or rewrite me. I'm not sure. So anyway.
I mean, this is minor, but he has no business writing the judge. He's got a case before him. It's an ex parte communication. The judge is just frazzled thinking about other things, but you don't resend the letter. Don't send a letter at all. You have counsel. Stop it.
So let me ask this, though, Ms. White, are we just adjourning the pretrial, or should we give you a final pretrial and a jury trial date, or do you think that another adjournment of the pretrial might bring us to resolution? What are your thoughts?
I think another adjournment of the pretrial will let us know whether or not we will be going to jury or have a resolution.
Okay. So how far out would you like to adjourn this?
Just 2 weeks.
So that would be September 21st at 1:30 p.m.
That's my son's birthday.
Okay. Mr. Bernstein, you want to talk about bond. So we're going to adjourn the violation of probation hearing to the same day. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the opportunity to address bond. Mr. Johnson, we've had quite a few hearings in this case, Your Honor, and the probation violations have sort of trickled in, but a large part of those probation violations were new cases that had arisen while on probation. And ultimately, it was one case that he got that led to directly to the revocation of bond and remand to jail. That one case has been dismissed, and he had another case which was 3 counts of resisting arrest that was dismissed yesterday. And those two.
This is frustrating to me listening to this because Sam Bernstein's a good attorney and he's doing a really good job. He's sort of conflating some things. He's like, oh, the main stuff is dismissed. Yeah, because he intimidated a witness. I mean, I know the backstory. This guy's a bad guy, so I'm all frustrated. Don't worry. Do not worry. Ms. Jessica Blanche has us covered. And I'm not knocking Sam Bernstein. He's doing a good job advocating for his client. It's just frustrating because I know better.
Cases really made up the bulk of what the probation violations were. And so when we kind of take those cases out of the equation, he's left with the original probation violations, which were certainly not as serious as those cases. I think they started out as collections matters, and then just certain behavior allegations that didn't rise to the level of crimes or were not charged as crimes. He's he has this case with Miss White that it sounds like they're going to be able to work it out, or at least it sounded hopeful that they'd work it out. And that's really the only other kind of big thing on his plate. And then there's like one other misdemeanor case that I have that I think will be concluded next week as well. So I'm asking the court if we take out of the equation of the bond determination the cases that led to his remand now, and which are otherwise a large part of the probation violations, if the court could reconsider bond determination without those, we would appreciate that, Your Honor. I know Mr. Johnson has done a pretty good job of showing up to court when asked, and he's now in a place where he's very motivated to finally.
Mr. Johnson's done a great job of showing up to court because he's been incarcerated, and he has court every day. Sam, you're doing a good job, buddy. You really are, but this is making me insane.
Just resolve all these cases and be done with it and move forward, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll bite. Ms. Blanche, your response?
Well, Judge, one of the cases that unfortunately got dismissed, the officers couldn't make it to the exam. It was an R&O charge. He threatened one of our prosecutors during jail calls, and that is one of the main reasons I'm asking for you to keep him in custody. That is being reauthorized. But so not only does he is he on probation, he has new charges, and then he's threatening our APAs on jail calls. So I definitely think he's a threat to the community, and I'd like you to keep him remanded.
What are the allegations in that threat?
I'm going to have to pull up the actual
The allegations.
file.
Mr. Johnson?
Okay. If I mean, at the end of can I speak after everything is going through, Your Honor, if you would like to?
Well, yes. The short answer is, Mr. Johnson, of course you can. But you need to know that anything you say, you're on the record, it can be used against you. So you want to be careful about your lawyer's advice to you. So,
yes,
I mean,
I definitely
let me just ask Mr. Bernstein, while Ms. Blanche is looking that up, you were sort of categorizing the violations and that most of them have gone away. The one you were referring to, I think, was probably the fifth one, that in the April where he sent the message to Ashley McDonald. Is that correct?
That was one of the allegations that I don't think ever led to a criminal charge.
If I can.
James, I'm sure the judge will let you speak, but we can't. I think you have to wait until Ms. Blanche has said her piece and that the judge is done asking these questions.
Okay.
Judge, he said during the jail calls, he said he'd clap Caitlin Kirby when he gets out.
Oh, that's not cool. We all know Caitlin Kirby. She's my favorite 16-year-old prosecutor. And don't worry. Buckle up. This is going to get a lot bumpier than this.
Okay. So, all right. So, I don't know, Mr. Bernstein, Ms. White, do you want to talk to your client before he talks to me, or do you want to let it rip? I don't know.
No, I'm happy to talk to him, Your Honor, but if I could just address the jail call, because I've had the pleasure and opportunity of listening to 68 jail calls for Mr. Johnson, and I can say that those jail calls are something that, not Ms. Blanche specifically, but the prosecution is using against James in terms of trying to prosecute him for things, but it's not really working. There's like 68 incredibly boring and benign phone calls, and when he says clap her, he's talking about a lawsuit for malicious prosecution. And so there's a context to all these jail calls that are often being left out of like prosecutions against James. For example, they had a preliminary exam against James yesterday based on these phone calls for like witness intimidation. They ran the preliminary examination and then the case was dismissed at the conclusion of it. So, you know, I get that, you know, James is someone that, you know, the office is trying to prosecute, but I think there's a context to these phone calls that he's talking about,
Oh, this is rich. Context and nuance. It's the way you argue it. I'm not knocking him, but oh Lord, when you hear the rest.
Suing for malicious prosecution and frustration with the prosecutor's office. He's not talking about literally killing people. It's within that context. Like the sentence he says, I have them transcribed. I can't find it right now, but it's something about clapping like a lawsuit or something. It's not like, I don't know what clap means exactly, but James, hold on.
I mean that I'm sorry, it's comical when the attorney, and this, I think he's doing a great job, but when you have to say, I don't think he's talking about killing people, and it's not necessarily evident. Like you have to argue it. Frankly, I think he is, but it's that's a tough needle to thread right there.
Hold on. He'll let you talk, but I think maybe us and Sandra should talk too. But I dispute the categorization that it was like a threat towards a prosecutor. I do dispute that.
Well, he does say they should allow you to have boxing matches with motherfucking prosecutors. You should be able to fight the prosecutor, like literally fight them, knock them down. I can't wait until this lawyer get a hold of her ass for maliciously prosecuting me, you little white bitch. You listen, you little bitch. You listen to me right now. Ain't you little bitch? Suck my dick. That's what you do since you want to listen to my call so much. So there was follow-up after that, Judge, that was extremely threatening in this case.
All right. We're going to...
Okay. I like the judge is like, all right. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but point taken. I get where I heard you.
If Mr. Johnson wishes to speak, he may do so, but you need to know it's on the record, and go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I definitely understand that everything will be used against me. As Mr. Bernstein stated, and as well as Mrs. Blanche, they tried to pursue the charges or a charge for threatening a government official due to the statement of me using the exact words was that I was going to clap this, I was going to clap the motherfucking, excuse my language. I said, I'm gonna clap this motherfucking prosecutor on this malicious prosecution lawsuit in regards to them maliciously prosecuting me for a malicious.
No, he didn't say that. I love how he tries to add the context afterwards with a bunch of words he never said or intended. I'm going to clap her with regards to this prosecution. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said I was going to clap her, period, end of statement.
This destruction of a building, which my child mother did not want to proceed with the charges. Like Sam Bernstein also said, they came with the witness intimidation on my child mother. My child mother came to court yesterday, and that case was dismissed. I mean, honestly, I've been in here since July 16th. You caused my bond, well, not you, but my bond was revoked due to a serious allegation of armed robbery, which was dismissed as well. And I also said in that report that from the beginning, I told them that the charges was fake, and I provided text messages. I provided the information to show that those allegations was fake. Ultimately, that case was dismissed as well in my preliminary exam. I've been incarcerated, like I said, since July 16th. I missed my 4-year-old son first day of school. I missed his birthday on August 13th. My son's birthday is our next court appearance, which is September 21st. Like I'm no fool nor no dummy to try to get out and cause any type of harm towards any type of law enforcement, any type of prosecutor, any type of judge, or any of that. At one point in time, yes, I was on the phone and I was stating some derogatory things, saying some profanity, using some profanity, but I was just simply angry because my child mother requested for me to get out of jail. I take care of my children. She was requesting for me to get out of jail, and yet and still they tried to proceed with these charges without using her and trying to tell her that it doesn't matter, about the case and stuff like that. Yes, I was angry. Yes, I used some profound language. Yes, I said some things.
Sorry. I'm sorry. He did just say it. It's the second time through. I confirmed it. He said, yes, I was angry. Yes, I used some profound language. No, he didn't. I know it's a serious situation, but that's hilarious.
But I never made a threat towards any prosecutor. Never did I have the intention to make no threats towards no prosecution. The detective came and hollered at me about that as regards to what's going on with the threatening of the government official. Detective came and hollered and talked to me, and that was over a month ago or so. And I asked him at the end of that, I asked him, like, I told him, explain what was going on. I told him he could listen to the calls, he listened to the complete sentences instead of the breakup of the phone call. If he listened to the complete sentences, I was simply talking about malicious prosecution lawsuit. I stated that. He told me at the end, once he walked me back down to the jail, that more than likely it wasn't going to be no charges pressed against me, because he felt as if there's nothing, and that was Detective Ramsey, I think his name was. Your Honor, like I said, I just want to get out and
I understand that you do, Mr. Johnson, but let me offer you this. Like, I also have had litigants say things about me, and I don't care if they say that I'm not handsome or I'm not good or whatever, but I've also had people say things that I think are threatening. That, that people have said that, even if it's context or not, sir. And so when Ms. Blanche sort of quotes what you said and you responded saying it was vulgar, it might not have been appropriate, or you were angry, it's also the other side of that is that prosecutor who was on the phone with you was doing their job. I mean, and again, you may differ on that, and the process will determine whether you're not guilty or guilty, and there's not going to be a charge or whatever the detective said. But you knew you were being recorded, and you were angry, and you still said things that I think could be taken as threatening. So I got to tell you that it concerns me that in anger you would say that in jail, knowing you were being recorded. So I have to tell you that here's the deal. I'm not going to let you out on a bond modification today. You're coming back in 2 weeks, and it's your son's birthday, and maybe I'll change my mind, but I'll tell you what I won't do unless either Mr. Bernstein or Ms. White makes a very particular ask as to how you would be released, under what kind of tether or restrictions you would be released, and really very specifically how to do that in a way that I can be assured, number one, that you're not going to be a danger to anybody out in the community, and number two, that you're not a flight risk. And I'm not saying they didn't do their job today, because actually kind of I was thinking I was going to release you until I heard what you said. And so I just need you.
Oh, sweet Jesus. I get it. Attorney Bernstein did a nice job, but I'm shocked that he was thinking about releasing him. I really am.
To understand that even when you're angry, sometimes what you say matters, and it may be that you didn't intend it as a threat, but somebody can hear that as a threat and feel threatened. And so that's not cool. That's not fair. And so I'm not saying I won't modify your bond in 2 weeks. I know it's your son's birthday, but I'm also not telling you or promising you that I will. But if we come back in 2 weeks and there's progress on the case that's pending, and or Mr. Bernstein or Ms. White makes a very particular or very specific ask about restrictions and tether and whatever that's going to look like, I'm not saying I won't consider it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we'll see you back here on the 21st at 1:30.
All right. Thank you. Hey, Ms. White, said you'll come talk to me about the possible
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, there you have it. Now you see what I was up against. Saint did that to me. I was just trying to go have a little late summer evening, watch some baseball, and then I got that, and I'm like, I can't not do it. I can't not do it. That's all there is to it. Washtenaw County is an endless source of entertainment. There are others out there, but Washtenaw County, top notch. You know, it doesn't have the 36th district, which is also top notch in its way. But that was something else. I had to show that. That truly surprised me. And Jessica Blanche, like I said, she is a fan favorite, but usually she's pretty quiet, and that's sort of typical. Like you just let the process go, but she let loose today. So it was suggested in the comments that she's close with the other prosecutor Kirby. I wouldn't doubt it. Like that's the sort of thing where you circle the wagons. Like, oh no, Judge, we're not doing this. She did not seem happy with the fact that the judge started to listen to the defense counsel's argument about changing conditions, and she did a nice job of putting a complete stop to that. So thanks for coming out again. I'm actually going to go now. I will see you all soon.